Third straight first alert weather day coming tomorrow. Mother Nature is not letting up in any way.
Not at all, Doug. It looks like we could see 6 additional first alert weather days because of the heat, because for at least the next 6 days, I'm tracking highs at or hotter than 105 here for the Metroplex. That's what we are looking forward to as we head into not only the weekend, but as we head into early parts of next week. So heat warnings will continue here across North Texas, as will extreme fire danger here for some areas across parts of the Metroplex. If there's any relief for any part of the region, it's going to be up to our northeast as we head into tomorrow. A low about 10 to 20%, but still a chance of rain here for some parts of North Texas. But this extreme heat warning continues here as we head into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Widespread temperatures as hot as 108, 109, even 110. Now for today, we had a couple areas with extreme fire danger this afternoon, and as we head into tomorrow, the good news is the winds will come down, but there still will be a few pockets of extreme fire danger heading into tomorrow. So I'm tracking fire danger, dangerous heat. I'll have an extended look at that first alert forecast coming up.
Okay, we'll chat then. Damien, thanks for the heads up. We appreciate it. Now to a Garland's family pain. It is not going unnoticed tonight, even by first responders who are now tasked with investigating the death of a 5-year-old girl who they believe was left in a hot vehicle by a relative. Our Marvin Hurst tonight with what we know so far about what is nothing short of a gut-wrenching loss.
Emergency responders got a call to Redbird Drive just before 8:30 last night for an unconscious 5-year-old in Garland.
The family had already started CPR. Once first responders arrived on scene, they took over CPR and then immediately transported her to a nearby hospital. Once she was at the hospital, unfortunately, they were unable to revive her and pronounced her deceased.
Garland police say a relative, not parents, picked the girl and her brother up from school around 3:30. They say the boy got out of the vehicle as the adult in question sat there for a minute before exiting, but no one discovered the 5-year-old was still in the vehicle until after 8, meaning she was likely in the car for hours, police say.
They went looking for her in all the bedrooms of the house. They went looking for her outside, thinking maybe she was just playing in the yard, and then somebody located her in the car.
Some people think it's hard to believe that one child gets out of the car and a second child or a third child or however many children are still left inside of that vehicle.
No, and I'm not saying that's not a relevant concern that people have. The problem is, until it happens to you, you don't think it could ever happen to you. Does that make sense? And right now we're talking about a tragedy of a child being left in a hot car.
Yeah, the overwhelming majority of children who are unknowingly left in vehicles are age 3 and under.
Amber Rollins is the executive director of Kids and Car Safety, a national nonprofit.
Even people who can empathize and understand that maybe this can happen to a loving, responsible parent probably still don't think that it's going to happen to their family.
Garland PD is working with the Dallas County District Attorney's Office to determine if there is criminal responsibility in this case.
Just double, triple check. Look at every seat in that car.
No one has been arrested. Everyone has been crushed.
People have said, well, time heals all wounds. Man, it does not heal all wounds. They will be reliving this as if it happened fresh every day, daily, possibly for the rest of their lives.
Marvin Hurst, CBS News, Texas.
Step 1 in Karmelo Anthony's push for a new trial is complete. The original trial judge was recused today from any further proceedings, meaning a new judge is going to begin hearing arguments tomorrow for a retrial. This is a complicated legal process, which is why our Amelia Magavro tonight is speaking with an appeals attorney to detail what happens next.
A major twist Wednesday in the Karmelo Anthony case. Anthony was convicted in June of stabbing Austin Metcalf and sentenced to 35 years in prison. But now his legal team is trying to get a new trial. And today, the judge who oversaw that original case was removed from the process.
It's a surprising development. I'm not sure how much it matters at the end of the day.
Appeals attorney David Cole says this does not mean Anthony has won an appeal. It means a different judge will now hear the arguments. That man is retired Judge Michael Chitty.
So you don't see this often, you don't see it granted very often. I think the judge that ruled here just said, this is a huge case. We've just got to do what looks fairest to everybody.
The move comes after Anthony's attorneys argued Judge John Roach Jr. did an improper public interview just 2 days after the trial ended. Cole says that timing matters.
You're not supposed to comment on cases while the case is still in the trial court. There's still motions that have to be heard before this case can go up on appeal. So it jumped the gun. The fact of the interview was too early.
Outside the Collin County Courthouse, supporters cheered the decision.
What does this mean to the supporters is that we now have some hope. We now feel like they found someone outside of Collin County that can come in and not be biased.
Criminal defense attorney Todd Shapiro, who is not connected to the case, called today's decision the right one.
Most observers probably thought that that was not going to happen, that Roach didn't do anything outside the bounds of his judicial canons or judicial responsibilities, and the judge here in the case obviously disagreed.
Cole says Anthony still has a tough road ahead. The new judge will have to decide whether there was a fundamental error in the way the trial was handled.
You could hear the argument and say, you know what? I think you're right. I think there was a fundamental error in the way the charge was done. I'm going to order a new trial. He has the power to do that tomorrow.
So the question is, what happens next? Well, there are a few different possibilities. The new judge could grant Anthony's request and throw out the trial, meaning he could get a new one. He could also deny the request, which would send the case to the appeals court, or he could hear all of the arguments this week and take more time to make a decision. So bottom line, we could get a ruling this week, but there is simply no guarantee. Amelia McGovern, CBS News, Texas.
Amelia, thank you. And as Amelia mentioned, Judge Michael Chitty has been assigned to Anthony's case, and that immediately rang a bell. It's a name that we do recognize, and you may as well if you know the history here. Chitty, currently sitting judge from Kaufman County. That's where he served 17 years. He retired, by the way, officially back in 2020. But one of his most notable criminal cases, and this is what we all remember, involved Eric Williams, the disgraced Kaufman County Justice of the Peace. Williams was convicted back in 2012 for stealing county computer monitors. Instead of prison time, though, Chitty sentenced Williams to probation, but authorities say that conviction is what fueled a revenge plot to murder prosecutor Mark Hasse and District Attorney Mike McClelland and his wife Cynthia. Judge Chitty ended up recusing himself from that case following the murders because he was likely to be called as a witness. Williams, by the way, still remains on death row today. Be sure to stay with CBS News Texas. A lot unfolding tomorrow with Karmelo Anthony's attorneys making their case for a new trial. We'll bring you the latest from outside and inside the courthouse as well, on air and streaming online at cbsnewstexas.com. Got some new video I want to get to tonight, just released this evening, showing the moment a canine officer found an escaped inmate earlier this month. Texas game wardens say the canine named Lola got on the scent trail from the inmate's discarded pants, followed it more than a mile until she reached the Bosque River in Erath County. They found the inmate, identified as Treston Nolte, in his bright orange underwear, covered in mud. There he is. He was taken back into custody with no issues. Got an update for you tonight, nearly 10 months after an SMU law professor disappeared while hiking on a trail in Georgia. His family is now planning a memorial service in Dallas as questions about what happened to him remain unanswered. Charles Host disappeared back in November after setting out to go hiking in northern Georgia. His crew, I should say, up in Gainesville, and he was visiting relatives, we're told, when he went hiking on that trail. He apparently had known that trail since childhood. That's according to family. 2 people reported seeing him near the top of Blood Mountain, but he has not been seen since. And an update from a post, Bring Charles Home, which is on Facebook, in a Facebook group. His memorial service is going to be held at University Park United Methodist Church coming up on Saturday, September the 19th.